not cringe, it's sparkle. And just, I'm what I am. I'm not going to pretend to be anything else. And how much do we love Stede? We love him, and he is cringe. But then that's him. That's sparkle. That's just like, we love it. And, you know, if you can love that about yourself, then, you know, and also, you only get this one life. Make the most of it. Do the thing. Do the cringe. I mean, I know that I'm probably a very cringe person in a lot of things that I do, but just...
Welcome back. And this is July 4th. And we're recording this on July 4th, which is the American so-called Independence Day. And I have a guest from England on here. And so it's a very awkward Independence Day for both of us because, one, in my country, we basically just declared our president a king who can do whatever the fuck he wants. And in England, you guys are having your election right now, and you are hopefully voting the fuckers out. So
yeah, I bloody well hope so.
And this is Hattie, by the way. Hattie is new to podficking and is an illustrator, known as Baby Kraken, I should say.
Hello, friends.
I love the way you say hello, friends. It's so good. It's such a Ricky voice.
Exactly. A lot of people don't get that. They're like, oh, you're so friendly. And I was like, no, I'm just doing Ricky's voice.
Is there like a certain word, like whenever I want to get into Stede's voice, I say Stede. And is there like a certain word that you say to get into Ricky's voice?
No, it's basically just my voice. I can kind of do it whenever I want.
That's amazing. You're also an illustrator, and you're an antiquer who works and sells Japanese and Chinese antiques. And at this moment, you are wearing the depression robe. So your whole life is on brand for our flag means death, I just have to say.
And also...
And you already got your own like shirt that says, like, it's very like cryptid factor. It's like a circle.
Yeah, that's what I went for. I love it.
Baby Kraken podfics. I don't even have a shirt for this podcast, which makes me think I should make a shirt.
I'll make you one.
You said in our emails that you Leo Virgo.
So I am Virgo sun, Leo moon, Leo rising.
Oh, so that's why you're like so good at being a Leo rising. You're so good at being like, I'm going to put myself out there without any hesitation.
I didn't used to be.
That's that Virgo sun. It took you a little while to get into that Leo rising, Leo moon.
Had to wake my lion up.
Yeah. Let's talk about what's going on in our countries. You just had, because it's 8:00 your time, so you just had an election and you were voting the fuckers out, as Con O'Neill has been reminding all of us around the world to vote the fuckers out. Who are the fuckers, and why are we wanting to vote them out?
So the fuckers are the Tories. We don't like the Tories. They've been in power for what feels like forever. Like, I think literally since the first time I was old enough to vote. But yeah, they're terrible. They're kind of like the most Donald Trumpy type party. Well, yeah, they're kind of very, very conservative, and you know, they're very kind of against rights for sort of trans people and the LGBTQIA plus community, and you know, yeah, they're really not good, and they kind of messed up our NHS, like our National Health Service is a thing generally we're most proud of. The guy who's the Prime Minister, he's like a billionaire. It's mad. He's the richest one we've ever had. I think he's richer than the king.
Oh my gosh.
A lot of us want to vote Green or independent parties and things. But if you vote for sort of a lot of the time Green or one of the independents, you're basically just giving a vote to the Tories. So
that's the same problem here.
Yeah. That's a tactical vote and vote for people who are all right, but it's not ideal.
We also hate both our potential candidates, and hence the global rise in fascism. But I really hope that things go well for you.
Well, they are thinking that a lot of Tories are going to get unseated. Get rid of them. Please get rid of them.
Let's switch to something positive. What's the most gay pirate thing that happened to you this week?
Cut my fingers on a sword.
Oh, you cut your fingers on a sword, which is very Stede. That's one of my favorite Stede lines is, it's been days since I cut myself on my sword. Oh, no. There we go. Damn.
That's what I did. We had a samurai sword at work, and I was taking it out to look at it. I was talking to my workmate, and I was like, it's been ages since I cut myself off. Oh, okay, never mind. And I was like, great job.
And so how many Band-Aids do you have on your fingers?
I have two.
Two Band-Aids on your fingers, on your middle fingers.
Yeah. Luckily, it's not the pointing finger, so I'm all right.
What's your other gay pirate story?
So I can tell when it's gonna rain and when it's gonna thunderstorm.
Ooh, very Ed-like.
I know. So I can always I think it runs in my family, so my mum can do it as well. Anytime it's been a thunderstorm, we start getting headaches, so we can feel it in our head, even if it's not like cloudy. And a lot of the time we text each other like, storms are coming. There's a storm on the way. It'll be about 45 minutes, and pretty much every time it's spot on. But I was talking to someone about this, and I got called a witch, so that was nice.
Well, I think witches are cool.
Oh, me too. Yeah, I was like, buttons.
So where, how do you feel it? What does it feel like?
In my sinuses up near my nose and across the front of my head, you can sort of feel like a pressure, like there's something in your head that's like throbbing. And then as the storm gets closer, it gets more and more sharp. And sometimes you get like a kind of migrainey headache, like in the eyes, and you can feel it like appearing in your head. So
that's so magical and cool.
It's pretty cool. Well, one time I was in Norway camping with some of my friends, and we were wild camping, and we were on this plateau where there was nothing. There was just us, this plateau, and the sky was like lovely and everything. And I was like, there's a storm coming, guys. We shouldn't camp here. And they were like, oh, shut up. You're always doing this. No, storm coming. I was like, okay, fine. It's your funeral. So, we camped there, and there was an enormous thunderstorm that night. And you could literally hear, like it was on top of you, all this lightning and thunder. It was terrifying. And I went and sat in the car because I was like, well, I'm not going to get hit by lightning. Luckily, everyone was fine. But then the next week, we saw that an entire herd of reindeer on that plateau had been killed by a lightning strike.
Oh my gosh.
Always listen to Hattie.
I hope fan fiction writers are taking notes right now.
Oh my God, please. I would love to read.
That is gold stuff. I mean, I'm going to steal that for whether it's for fan fiction or for regular writing. I'm like, okay, sinus pressure in your head, little migraine feeling. Okay. Person who can
someone
predict storms. Done.
Write me a fic about Ed who can predict storms like I do, and all my dreams will come true.
Oh my. Now, is it safe to go in your car during a thunderstorm? Because I worry that the metal in the car would attract the lightning.
Because it's got rubber tires, you are in fact, in theory, insulated. So as long as you don't touch any metal parts of the car, you should be safe.
Okay.
Is what I've read. Please, yes. Just don't be out in a thunderstorm.
Don't be out in a thunderstorm.
The other week, I woke up at 3 a.m. with this incredibly intense need to redecorate my kitchen. Like I went and the color was just wrong. I just couldn't sleep because the color was wrong and everything was in the wrong place. So I had to get up, look at color swatches, move everything around in the kitchen. And I was like, this feels quite Stede.
The aesthetic correct. Yes.
Yeah, exactly.
I need to fix this.
Aesthetic.
To create harmony.
Exactly. Yeah.
As a Libra, I relate to that a whole lot. And I'm sure Rhys Darby relates to that as a Taurus rising ruled by Venus. Sometimes we're just like, nope, the aesthetic is wrong here. Got to fix it. Let's do validation from strangers on the internet. So this is our recent Apple Podcasts review. From Nikki in DC, Nikki from DC. The subject heading is new to the fandom. Your podcast is giving me life. And they write, I'm new to the fandom, but I'm obsessed. I miss our pirates. And like a lot of other fans, I feel like I'm screaming into the void. The Ed Teach episode was the first. Loved it. I want to hang out with you all. Oh. Nikki from DC, thank you. You can hang out with us all. Like, feel free to DM me, like basically Hattie did, and we'll have you on the podcast and do an episode.
We're best friends now, so
we're best friends. What happens? Yeah, I know. This is what everyone is included. This is as I say, this is
a safe spaceship.
Yeah, and there's no captains on this spaceship. This is an anarcho-communist spaceship. And anyone can come on, anyone can be a part of it. I even told people in the group chat, I'm like, you guys, like, if you want to even record your own episode of the podcast, do that and just send it in. I'll edit it and we'll put it up.
I love that.
I know.
Collaborative podcasting. That's
I know.
Genius. It's like fanfic, but more.
Yeah, like I don't have to be the host of every podcast. If people out there want to do it, go and record their own podcast and send it to me, I will make it an episode. We'll do it.
Amazing.
Let's do a fandom news wrap up. What are you most interested in that fandom news that has happened recently, Hattie?
Mostly Rhys Darby's little explorer outfit.
I know. So Rhys Darby is I don't know if he's a character in the game itself or in just ads for Final Fantasy Dawn Trail. Is that what's
no
called?
Idea. I don't know. I haven't. Well, I've only last Final Fantasy I played was about Final Fantasy VII. I haven't played it for ages, and I was like, "Oh, is this some sort of Rhys Darby Explorer game?" And sadly, I don't think it is. But I'm really enjoying the adverts.
Yes. Wait, let me just check if I got the title right. See, I should have done some research before coming on here, but it is called Dawn Trail. It's Final Fantasy 14. It looks like there's an X and a 1 and a V, so I think that's 14. Dawn Trail.
No, that's 16.
Is it?
I think it depends what way around the V and the. Oh, is it?
If the X, okay, if the I comes before the V, that means it's a 4, right?
Oh, got you.
So it's XIV. So yeah, I think it's 14.
I can tell the weather, but I can't tell the time.
But I can't read Roman numeral, whatever the fuck it's called.
There's a lot of them. There's loads of Final Fantasy.
But what's adorable is Rhys is doing, there's all these like little ads for it. And there's a landing page on the website. And I don't know if Rhys is actually in the game or not. People who know more than I do about games tell us. But he is this little interim director of this tourism board for this place called Dawn Trail, and he's in his little explorer outfit. Let me just play the audio.
Things you need to know about Taral. 1, there truly is something for everyone. 1 minute you're traipsing through the jungle with a Mamool jar, the next you're eating tacos with a Makote.
Okay. Someone out there must have known that.
They know what we want.
The fandom, we love Rhys Darby's legs. His legs. We love his legs. So they put him in shorts. Brilliant choice. Everything about the aesthetic of him. I think they know he like animals, Rhys Darby, animals, mythical creatures, khaki, legs, funny socks. They did their research and they
really did.
I'm not a big fan of capitalism, but I must say when capitalism does it right, they should be congratulated.
Yeah, let's congratulate the creatives that thought
the creatives involved. Yeah. So what's your all-time favorite Rhys Darby outfit?
I love the blue one. I do love the blue one, but it's kind of a cross between that and, in the second series when he gets his leather trousers and he's got his little kind of dark blue pirate shirt. I love that shirt. I'm going to have to make one of those. Like that's the one. Oh, yeah. Yeah, because I do a bit of cosplay. I'm going as Ed in October, but I'd love to do a Stede one.
Would you do a blonde wig or would you dye your hair?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, well, my hair wouldn't take blonde very well. It's very dark. So, yeah, wigs all the way because wigs just hold the style the entire con. You can drink as much as you like and still look great.
Other news. Well, David Jenkins has been very active on Twitter lately, as all Americans are extremely upset about the Supreme Court decision and just the whole direction that the election is going. So we've been seeing a lot of David Jenkins retweeting stuff. He also did a new dog reveal on his Instagram, a sort of brown, mid-sized, little mixed breed looking puppy named Simone, which is an amazing synchronicity because my dog that I had for 17 years, who passed away last year, was named Simone.
Oh,
I know. Oh,
it's a really unusual dog name as well.
It is an unusual dog name. Yeah. So I hope we'll get to see more of David Jenkins Simone.
Sure we will.
Yeah. The poster, the art for Time Bandits came out, which that show releases July 24th. And Taika is featured prominently in the poster for Time Bandits. And he's looking very Ed-like. He's got a beard. He's got a long silver wig.
Excellent. Very much enjoying it. Even in low resolution, please give us a high definition one.
Are you excited about Time Bandits? What have you heard about it?
I know the original Time Bandits because it's Terry Gilliam, who was one of Monty Python, who I absolutely love. Obviously, I'm British. We love Monty Python. Yeah, I'm really excited because, to be honest, I haven't seen Time Bandits since I was a kid. And I was like, oh, shall I rewatch it? And I was like, no, because they're not going to compare it. So I'm going to watch the new one and then watch the other one after. Yeah, I'm very excited. The cast is amazing. I think it's going to be great.
I'm sure it's going to be hilarious because that's what we expect from Taika and Jermaine. And the other news is Khan had a swearing class that was benefiting LGBTQ organizations, and people paid like I think $30 to go to his Zoom. And then if you paid a little extra, you can have some one-on-one time with Khan.
To be honest, I didn't really know about this until it kind of appeared on Twitter, because I've only recently rejoined Twitter and all this stuff. And I was like, oh, this is cool. So I've seen various clips from it and absolutely hilarious.
Yeah.
Absolutely loved it. Do you want to describe what happened?
He did this bit at the beginning where he's like yelling at his dog for like ruining his pants. And then he comes onto Zoom in his underwear and like puts his underwear pelvic area right in front of the camera. Someone recorded just that clip. I'm going to share the audio from that. That was the reaction. It was hilarious. Screenshots were being shared. It was delightful and no more offensive than someone going to a pool wearing swim trunks.
Yeah.
There were a few people on Tumblr who decided to be extremely boring about it.
Well, my thoughts are it's one of those things. It just happens to everyone, doesn't it? Like you start a Zoom call and it's for charity and you've just got to be on time and your dog starts like attacking you, rips your trousers off. What are you going to do? Go put extra trousers on and disappoint everyone? No. See, he's an actor and he knows the show must go on. So yeah, he did the only sensible thing. You know, he carried on. Brought joy to many, many people by the sounds of it.
Brought joy to many, many people who signed up for an inappropriate class.
Exactly.
With
they knew what they
like humor. People who understand how comedy works and who understand how bits work. And it was a funny bit.
Yeah. And don't shame body parts. You know, body parts are just body parts when they're not doing anything. So, you know,
stop sexualizing things that don't need to be sexualized.
That's what I meant to say.
Yeah. So, Hattie, let's get to you. How did you first discover Our Flag Means Death?
So this is quite a good one. So it was actually my mum that introduced me to it. I'd just come out of a 10-year relationship with someone and I went back home for a while and I was pretty miserable and stuff. And mum was like, hey, I've been watching this really cool pirate thing.
Your mom.
Yeah, my mom's awesome.
Oh my God, that's amazing because like that's a demographic that's like very low on the, you know, the demographic analytics. Like boomers don't really, you know.
Yeah, well, my mum's she's
Gen X.
She is. No, she is a bit old for Gen X. She's like cusp. But yeah, so mum started watching it because my sister went to drama school with Nathan Foad. So,
oh my God.
Yeah, he was a couple of years above my sister at GSA. And mum used to go to every single show. All of them did. Like, didn't matter if my sister was in it or not. And so mum used to go to Nathan's shows all the time and saw him when he was studying. And
this is an amazing story. Your mom saw like Nathan Foad's all his theater stuff before Our Flag Means Death.
When he was studying. And she always said, she was like, this boy, he's so funny, he's so good. And she still even now says his 2-minute showcase, best one she's ever seen. And naturally, when she saw he was on Our Flag Means Death, mum also loves pirates. And she was like, oh! And yeah, she just made me watch it. And I was like, thanks, mum, this is incredible.
Does she have any details of what Nathan did? Like what his 2-minute showcase was about? What
It was kind of, I think it was kind of like, so you know those videos that he put on Twitter, which is kind
Yes.
of how he got kind of spotted by Tyker and things. It's sort of similar to that. So they have 2 minutes to sort of do something, and I'll I'll have to get hold of her because I was talking to her about it this morning, but she didn't get into specifics. She was just kind of waxing lyrical about how great he was. Yeah, so I think it was kind of a 2 minute kind of comedy thing because he's so good at that. Yeah, she just absolutely loved it.
Oh my gosh, that's amazing. So there's so many things that are mind-blowing about this story. One, that like, someone of that generation can like the show. Someone of that generation found Nathan Foad before the rest of us.
Yeah, way before.
Like she's the OG like Nathan Foad fan. She defeats every one of us out there, even those who are like, no, I found Nathan on Twitter. Your mom found him before he was on Twitter.
When he was at drama school.
When he was at drama school. Oh my gosh.
Yeah. So cute. Amazing. I got another one as well. So my my sister, same sister at drama school, she was actually briefly taught by Con as well. So my sister has so many R-Flag connections, but she's never really watched it. She keeps going, I keep meaning to watch it because Nathan's in it, but I haven't got around to it.
What? Oh my gosh. Put her in handcuffs, lug her in front of your laptop screen and be like, excuse me.
I will.
You need to watch this because this is the greatest thing ever.
I've been doing this to all my friends, and I've made my sister listen to some of my. She doesn't know what's going on, but
so when your sister was briefly taught by Con, how long? Like a semester, a week?
I think it was like a workshop thing. Yeah, because she was like, oh, that guy with the voice who's in the pirate thing, who was in Blood Brothers, because she knows him as being in the original Blood Brothers stage production, I think it was. Yeah, she was like, oh yeah, he's really nice, he's really good. Yeah, he's really like encouraging. He's one of the really best teachers I've had.
Really encouraging, one of the best teachers. You guys, you are getting so many pearls of Nathan and Con, like real life. Oh my god. So he's really nice and encouraging as a drama teacher. That's so great. That's so wholesome to hear because I'm always a little bit afraid, like, are your faves like the assholes? And in Con's case, no, he's genuinely a nice guy.
He's really nice, she said. I have to get my sister on the podcast. She's got more stories than I do. She actually lives on a boat.
This is getting like crazier and crazier.
Yeah. Well, we're all just pirates, really. I can tell when it's going to rain. My sister lives on a boat. Yeah, it's on the south coast of England. It's like, it's not a canal boat. It is a proper boat. It's got like sails and things. Wow. We went on it at Christmas. It was great. Phoebe nearly fell in holding onto a ladder, which kind of gave me flashbacks of the kind of keep it straight if you can. But yeah, it was great. So
you have to tell the story. How did you get into podficking?
Wow, it's actually all thanks to you and your lovely podcast.
This is amazing because this was my goal making the podcast. If you guys listen to the first episode, I was like, my intention is to inspire other people to make art and make more stuff in the R-Flag genre. And so I did. I succeeded at my goal because I made you. So take us through all the steps.
Okay. Well, yeah, obviously watched it, got really obsessed because it kind of changed my life, healed my soul at a really bad time in my life, and yeah, just reignited my love of pirates. So, and then obviously we found out we weren't getting a season 3. I mean, we are getting a season 3.
We are getting it someday.
Anyway, so yeah, and then I was like, oh, I was so sad because I was like, oh, I just really love this show. I don't know if people like it as much as I do. So I was just like Googling around, finding stuff. And I was like, oh, I wonder if there's any like podcasts, like interviews. And then I found your podcast, started listening to it. And I was like, this is awesome. And then I was like, oh yeah, fanfic. I used to read fanfic and stuff back in the day. So then I started reading it and I was like, wow, people have really upped their game. Like, it's really good nowadays.
The R-Flag fanfic is a special genre of fanfic because there is like really, really good stuff in it. Yeah.
Some amazing writers. Like, it's better than a lot of like books I've read. Like, it's mad.
Right.
Yeah. So I did that. And then you were saying on the podcast how you were looking for cringe stories. And I was like, I'm not cringe at all. And then I was thinking, oh no, wait, but I do make people cringe. So yeah, I told you about the story where I was in a pub and me and my sister It's my sister again. It's all her fault. Doing silly voices as we were playing a game. So naturally, I was Prince Ricky, the minor prince and Victorian inventor. And so I told you about that, and you were like, "Oh, that's amazing!" And we kind of just basically, I was like, "Oh yeah," and you sort of said, "You should record a podfic." And I've done one that's in, that's about Ricky, and I was like, "Okay, I'll give it a go." Gave it a go, and I absolutely loved it. And now I'm obsessed with recording things. So thank you.
I love to hear that story. Wait, was my fic the first thing that you recorded?
Yeah, so Spectre of the Seas is the first one I actually did. I did the entire thing in Ricky's voice because I was completely unhinged that day. But the first one I actually uploaded was the tattoo that shit directly onto my heart, which is
tattoo that was mine too. Oh wow.
So your ones were my first ones. Thank you, David.
Yeah, so you guys can check that out in AO3. I'll have to drop links to your SoundCloud and everything, but you can check out Tattoo That Shit directly onto my heart, which is a very short Lucius fic. And Spectre of the Seeds, which is a Ricky fic. Drop those in the show notes, and also link to your SoundCloud, of course. What is your approach to recording? Because I know when I first started recording, what I would do is I would read the whole thing, not on microphone. Then I would read just the dialogue so I could figure out like how I'm going to do the voices. And then I would record, I would do like 3 takes, and I would my goal was to be like get like a really clean take.
Yeah.
And that since then I've like thrown that system out of the water, and now I just pull it up on screen and start recording.
It's what it is.
I'm like, fuck it, I'll cut out the parts where it's not good, or I'll just like read if I say something I'm like that's not good, I'll just read it again like right away. So what's your approach?
So yeah, I read it through so I get an idea of what's going on and whose voices are what, because some of the ones I've done are very, very quick fire voices. And as you know, I like to do the voices. So I read it through. Sometimes I'll do a rehearsal one where I do record it, and I record it as if I am going to do it as a proper podfic, because sometimes the first take just comes out perfectly.
Yeah.
But yeah, and then what I'll do is I'll go, right, let's do it. And then I'll just sit down and do it. And I usually try and do them all in one go, just like one take. But as it is, we sometimes fluff our words. So then I'll just go back and I'll just carry on recording. So in a few of them, you can kind of hear where I haven't quite got it right, but so yeah. And then I just, do it like that. I've started doing longer ones recently, which is proving to be a bit of a challenge on the old COVID voice. So, but yeah.
So how often do you are you going through and you're reading it and you're like, Ed and Stede go to the beach and then they see a whale, and then you're saying it, and then you're like, and then all of a sudden you're like, Ed and go the like, that's what happens to me sometimes. And then I'm like, wait, stop, go back. Ed and Stede go to the beach and then they see a whale.
Yeah.
And then you continue going. Like, how often do you have that moment?
Off my words. I'm relatively lucky in I don't know if it's lucky or whatever. I have quite a posh English accent. It's home counties. So we tend to dictate, pronounce a lot of the ends of our words and stuff naturally anyway. But yeah, no, it does sometimes happen. Or I'll get the wrong inclination. Like I'll say something as Stede that's really happy, and I'm like, oh no, that's very wrong. It's like, oh Ed, you've cut yourself, and I'm like, no. So yeah, it's normally stuff like that.
Okay, give us your Stede voice. Say, what's a good Stede line? Stede, just Ed, you've cut yourself. How would Stede say, oh Ed, you've cut yourself?
Oh Ed, you've cut yourself. Or oh Ed, you've cut yourself. Depends what kind of Stede we're going for.
And then what's your approach to Ed?
Ed is I try and lower my voice a bit, because a lot of the time he has a lower voice, but sometimes if he's having a rant it does go higher, so I try and make
Ed is like the hardest voice for me. Every single time I've recorded a fic, Ed's voice changes it becomes something different. And for me, he keeps on sounding like a teenage boy. And I'm like, I need to make this man sound like a man. Why does he keep on sounding like a teenage boy?
Well, a lot of the time it's so I do a lot of faces when I'm doing it, or change my body posture, which seems to help. So if I'm doing Ed, like sometimes I have to say stuff. So I get, because I have a home counties English accent, Australian's really easy for me, which means I accidentally slip into Australian when I'm trying to do New Zealand. So sometimes I have to go Australia, New Zealand, and then I'm like, and then you can just like, what should I do for it? I need something to say as Ed. I can't just do his. I'll be like, Stede, you cut yourself. So he's like a lot more deep, and you know, like maybe I care, maybe I don't care that you cut yourself. Maybe, I don't know. Do you need some like bandages or something? Or if he's like really upset, it's like, Stede, you cut yourself. Sounds very worried there.
The thing I have to say to get into like an Ed voice is I always end up saying like, I'm Taika Waititi. I'm Taika Waititi. I keep on.
You're just really channeling it.
Yeah, I'm Taika Waititi. Like I try to say his voice, but like so it's still there's a teenage quality that I'm trying to work out to get into man voice.
It's difficult. It's difficult. I'm still in New Zealand. It's difficult. It's funny, isn't it? I suppose because we don't have the deeper vocal cords to do it, so we just sort of have to.
But you do it pretty well. You wait. Say it again. Say I'm Taika Waititi.
That's difficult. I'm Taika Waititi. I can't say his name.
That sounded good to me.
Taika Waititi. I play Ed. Oh, Stede. I love you, Stede.
I love it.
You wear fine things well. I think with Ed I do more mumbly, don't I? So he's like, you wear fine things well. I look down when I do Ed as well, for some reason. It's the eyes. The eyes big.
Yeah. Like
it's turning into a vocal lesson.
Yeah, I know. It's fun. It's gonna be fun.
I love it. Well, getting too hot in my depression robe.
Okay, and then your approach to Ricky, you didn't even have to say any words to get into Ricky because
Ricky's just really natural for me. I just have to release your inner Ricky. It's quite flamboyant though. You have to like move your shoulders a lot and wave your arms around. I mean, it's not that exactly like Ricky's voice, but I like to do a really posh voice.
I don't. As a I cannot get rid of my American accent, so I'm not even going to try to do an English accent.
You can do it. When we talk, we throw it out the front of our mouth like the Queen.
I'm Prince Ricky. I'm Prince Ricky.
I'm Prince Ricky.
Ricky.
It's not bad. And elongate the vowels. I think not bad.
Not bad.
Yeah, like you know that bad. English accent you see in American films. Okay.
Not bad.
Not bad, you old cockney.
And then what's your approach to Lucius?
Lucius is just me, but more sassy. And I do a lot of eyebrows when I do Lucius. And also I like draw out my words.
Draw out.
Yeah. In the back of the throat. Like kind of, I don't know if like
a little
American Valley Girl is like they draw it out like that.
Definitely. Yes.
But like, there you go. But
I'm a Valley girl. I live in the Valley.
There you go.
Yes. But
see, I can't do Zeng because my American accent's terrible.
Oh, so, try to do an American accent. Try to
do an American accent. Like try to.
I'm like, what is it that's not? I see. I don't. You guys know your accents more than I feel like Americans do. I'm like, there's something about it that's reading as okay. That's not a real American accent, but I don't know what it is.
Yeah,
I think
maybe it's sorry.
Oh no, I think it's the American accent is extremely lazy. So it's like be really, really lazy.
Be really, really lazy. Now it's gone Australian, which is my default.
Oh my gosh, that's so fun.
I love it. Yeah. I've always done a lot of silly voices. So.
How much editing do you do in your podfic recordings? How long does it usually take you? None. Oh my god. Even when you flub a line and then you ever like and you go back and redo it, I
do it immediately. So because I like to keep the flow of the story. So especially if I'm doing a sad one, like I have to stay in the sad zone. Mm-hmm. So yeah, what I do, because up until actually getting this microphone, I've been recording it on the notes app on my phone. So I have no editing at all. So I have to as soon as I flub it, I have to go back to that point and then just carry on. So it's almost like when you're acting, you're like, right, straight away, keep going, because then it keeps the sound and like the thing. I try and keep it the same. Yeah.
Really impressive, because I do a
thanks.
lot of editing on mine.
Yeah.
So
I wish I knew how.
Yeah, I bring in the audio file into Premiere and I like cut all the garbage flubbed words out. I cut all the I put too much spaces in there. I cut the spaces out. So you are brilliant. Yours are so good, and you don't do any editing. Amazing.
Thanks.
And I'm so glad you have this new fancy microphone.
Me too.
Are you going to be recording into like QuickTime or onto your laptop or into your phone?
Well, I got a new iPad the other week. I never had one before. It's very exciting. I basically bought it just for Procreate so I could draw better covers for my podfics because
fun.
Yeah, OFMD is just leaking into my life and making all aspects of it better, including my artwork. So yeah, I've been doing it on GarageBand. I don't know if that's the best thing. Don't know.
If it works, it sounds good. It works. Yeah,
I don't know if it does sound good with this new mic because I haven't quite got to grips with it. But I'm fiddling about. We're getting there. Makes me feel cool and professional. So
I can't wait to hear how your new one sounds. What brand of microphone are you using for those who might want to take up podficking on their own?
It's Zeal Sound. It's basically the cheapest one I could get with decent reviews. It also has this thing where I can plug my cans in, like my headphones, and I can have feedback, which I don't do when I'm podficking because I need to be like
in the moment,
in the zone. Like I have to imagine I'm there and I'm the characters to be able to do it. But it's really useful for playback stuff. It also has a button which is supposed to get rid of background noise, which is quite handy. So
cool.
But all of mine pretty much were on the notes app on my phone, and to be honest, it sounded great.
It sounded great. Yeah, you guys, you don't need a whole lot of fancy equipment to either do a podcast or do a podfic. You can just get a cheapy microphone or no microphone and record it onto your phone.
Yeah, just do it. What's the worst can happen?
Do it. It's been for me, like such a creative outlet. And you've been just recording. How many have you recorded so far?
16. Well, it's actually 17 because I've got
17
in like 2 weeks, less than 2 weeks. I don't know. Yeah, I've got a really cute mermaid one. My friend is doing the cover for me, so that's going to be out soon.
Oh my gosh, I'm so impressed by your ability to make so many. You're like putting my podcasting to shame. I'm like, okay, I gotta up my game.
Podcasting's much harder. All I do is I wait like 2 a.m. I just sit on my bed wearing the depression robe and read a story to myself. It's easy.
I love it. But I love that you are fearless about like just not needing to edit the fuck out of it like I do. You're just like, I recorded it, it's going up, bam, into your ears, public. And that you're so good at promoting yourself. You go on Instagram and you made an Instagram for your podfics, which is, give a shout out, Baby Kraken podfics on Instagram. You made a Twitter for yourself, and you a SoundCloud, of course, and an AO3,
Discord, Reddit,
and you go out there and you like tell people, listen to my podfics, and you guys should listen to, because they're freaking great. But you're very fearless about it. So what advice would you give to someone who is like, I'm really nervous about promoting myself, promoting my work, I'm afraid of being cringe? What would you say to them?
Well, I'd say probably take a few lessons from our favorite pirates. So you only get this one life, so make the most of it. Do the thing, do the cringe. I mean, like, I know that I'm probably a very cringe person in a lot of things that I do, but I don't know, it's never bothered me because I think, to be fair, going back to the seriousness, when I was in this 10-year relationship, it was with someone who was embarrassed about everything. They were embarrassed about me and my enthusiasm for things, and sometimes like the way I dressed and like things I said and stuff, because I kind of I'm what I am. I'm not going to pretend to be anything else. And it was very suffocating. And then when I watched OFMD and I saw Stede, and he was in a rubbish relationship that was kind of dampening his sparkle, and he came out of it and he was just like whoomp, he was flamboyant, he was everything, and I was just like, yes. So you don't have to have been in a crap relationship to take the message from that, in that, just go out there and be your best Stede. And the thing is, if you do something cringe, other people aren't going to remember it, because it's very rare, if you think about it, you can actually remember something cringe someone has done in everyday life. Like, you try and think of something, you can only remember stuff about yourself, because we're all,
I can think of a lot of men.
Oh yeah, that's different.
Do men stuff that is very cringe to women, but women, I mean, we may be cringe, but we're not predatory.
You remember it because it's predatory.
Yeah.
It's that kind of thing. But yeah, so I think kind of embrace your cringe. Like, don't see it as cringe, see it as sparkle. And the thing is as well, like, I've always thought it's none of my business what other people think of me. That's up to them. I'm just gonna do me, and if they don't like it, well, that's entirely their loss and problem, isn't it? So
what a very Leo rising vibe to bring to the function.
It's not cringe, it's sparkle.
It's not cringe, it's sparkle. Oh my god, put that on a t-shirt. It's so good.
How much do we love Stede? We love him, and he is cringe, but then that's him, that's sparkle. That's just like, we love it. And if you can love that about yourself, then just embrace Stede. I like that. And also, to be fair, your memes are amazing, by the way. When I was in a really like bit of a miserable funk, not my genuine like happy self, they actually really helped. And like, genuinely, I want to say big thank you for that. And me and my friends send them backwards and forwards to each other all the time. Like,
oh, thank you.
And I just love them, like pairing up those things. And I was just like, added another layer to it. And I just love it. So thank you.
Thank you. Who is your favorite character on the show?
It's just got to be Stede. It really has. I just like the whole journey he goes on, and his fearlessness about just being himself, and his humor. And Rhys Darby is fantastic. I've always really liked him. There's just something really, like, he's a really lovely, wholesome character, even though he does some shit stuff.
So were you familiar with Rhys Darby's work prior to Our Flag Means Death?
Oh yeah, like Flight the Conchords, obviously, that kind of thing. And I'd seen him on various things. He's done a few panel shows in the UK, like QI and stuff. And I know he did Edinburgh Fringe and things. So I'd seen him about, but I'd never seen him do serious acting. And he's absolutely phenomenal. Like,
fantastic. Yeah,
he's absolutely brilliant. Like, I was actually blown away. He's my favorite.
And honestly, like, he's like my favorite comedic actor now. And I've been thinking, like, Rhys could have like the career that like Tom Hanks had in the 90s, like, or even Jim Carrey, or like he can be, because he can do like the serious, he can do the funny, he can do the physical comedy. Rhys, I'm manifesting you A-list to be an A-list, like $20 million per film dude. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, I'd also like it if he's stuck and did a few of the small indie things, because I love that. Like, I love the scripted fact of the podcast, and just kind of, it's him and his mates, and they're just talking about what they really like and what they're really passionate about. And he just kind of embraces that whole side of himself. And I think that's, he doesn't put on an air of being cool or anything. He just is who he is. And I think that's really cool. Yeah.
What sort of fan fiction are you drawn to?
Well, what I read and what I speak are kind of different, but they do cross over. Like, for speaking, I like comedy and things with a lot of voices, a lot of dialogue. Like, the more dialogue, the better sometimes.
Yeah.
So I can really have fun with that. But I also, I really enjoy quite like angsty ones as well. Because I think probably my best narration I've done is an angsty one, which also has the most hits on SoundCloud, because apparently people love a bit of angst. Let me find what it's called. It is Once Upon a Poolside, and it's by Daydreamcrash. And it's absolutely beautiful. It's a modern AU, and it's like a meditation on loss. It doesn't have a happy ending, and it does have grief stuff in it. But I read it when they posted it, and I read it at 2 a.m. and I thought, I must record this immediately. So got my phone out and recorded it in one take, and burst into tears at the end of it. And I think it's my best narration.
I can't wait to listen to that one.
Get some tissues. It's absolutely wonderful. So I really like comedy ones as well. I don't just like the sad.
Yeah.
So Spectre of the Seas. That's one of my faves. Love
that. Oh, thank you.
Shout out to David Jenkins. It was completely unhinged, which is very me. So the more kind of unhinged, the better, really. What else do I like? Sassy Lucius, I love to read as well and speak. Stuff. Yeah. So there's a really good one that I did recently called 3 Cheers for Sweet Revenge by Agatha 420. This is an excellent name. So that's basically Lucius just reads Ed. So he's up on stage at the talent show and he just really lets him have it. And it's very funny. It's really well written. But to read, I really love a bit of fluff. I just like anything that's kind of cozy and nice. They're really lovely. Oh, so one of my favorite sort of tooth rotting fluff that makes your teeth feel like they're going to dissolve is My New Best Friend by Pirate Captains, Captain Pirates. And this is like shots through Ed's life growing up about him and his stuffed toy rabbit. It's just the cutest thing. Absolutely love it.
And that's by Pirates, Captains, Pirates.
Yeah, I'll send you the names.
Thank you. Right. I'm typing it, but I might need assistance with that.
Remreader is a really good author just in general. I've done Pearls by them. That's kind of an angsty one about Ed's necklace. Yay.
Oh, Pearls.
Yeah, Pearls is really good.
See, okay, I just learned something in your English accent. I say pearls, you say pearls.
Pearls. Like the Prince Ricky would like some pearls.
Pearls, that's a good word.
Pearls.
Help me get into my English accent. Nope, that wasn't right. It didn't sound, but pearls. I got pearls.
Pearls. Right. Pearls is good. If you've got your word to get in, then you can unlock it.
Pearls.
Before you know it, your inner monologue's going to be stuck in my accent. Good luck with that. Mine gets stuck in a Kiwi accent all the time.
Okay, let's see. Here's some others.
Sorry, what were we talking about?
We're talking about fics that you like to read. I'm typing them down so that we can put them in our fic rec section.
Another big shout out to Shalamarr, who's an author I really enjoy. I think we have like a similar vibe with our sense of humor and things. So I've read quite a few of their fics. So The Club for Refined Widowed Ladies is an Evelyn-centric fic, which is, I mean, it's not fluffy. It's very funny, though. I do it entirely in Evelyn's voice.
Oh, okay, do Evelyn's voice. What's Evelyn's voice sound like?
Oh, God. I haven't done it for so long. I can't
say murder's a natural cause.
Murder's a natural cause. She kind of goes a little bit like mob wife, and I don't know if it's really accurate, but it's really fun. You could probably do it better because you've got a real American accent. But
I love it. I love it.
I enjoyed that a lot. So they've also got an amazing fic called Heavy Petting, which is a really fluffy, lovely one. So it's about Ed and Stede, and they find some homeless kittens. Oh. And yeah, it's really cute. And while Ed and Stede are they're trying to get it on, these kittens keep kind of distracting them and getting in the way, and they're having to look after them and this kind of thing. And it's just really cute. I'm gonna do a podfic of it soon.
Oh,
it's a lot of grumbly Ed who actually really likes them.
Oh,
kittens. Yes, that one's really nice. Yeah, and I like fluff-wise. I really like meet cutes as well, like modern AU ones. One I read recently was Avant Gardener by oatmilktruther. Well, I suppose it's not a meet cute because they've known each other for quite a while at this time and they're friends, and they're going to a garden centre to try and get this really rare plant. Stede's got a plan, but it all goes wrong. But then they end up confessing their love to each other, and it's really cute, and I love it. And it's got a great description of Stede wearing some sort of zip-off trousers, which I find very amusing. Yeah, that's really good. I really like President of the Stupid Hat Society by Nomadsland, which is actually set in jolly old London. So this is one where Stede is, so like a beefeater, one of the Queen's Guards with the big Busby hats.
Yeah,
the tourists take photos.
Yeah.
So he's one of them, and they're not allowed to talk. And Ed is late at night. He's walking past, and he sort of has this conversation where he's talking to Stede, but Stede can't say anything apart from move his eyebrows. So he goes back on like successive nights and sort of, it's really good. Right.
Oh, that sounds really cute. And that's President of the Stupid Hat Society by Nomadsland.
Nomadsland, yeah. Okay. So I think probably most people know these, the Teach Marina series by Moosh, which was read by Katie Loopy Dangerfrog, one of my favorite podfickers.
Oh yeah, so that's the series where Ed has a boat and Stede has his kids like on Ed's boat, and wait, you pitch it. Tell us about it.
Oh, so it's snapshots throughout their life growing up, and it mostly follows Lewis like at different ages and how him and Ed's like interact together, and it's lovely. It's really sweet. So there's quite a lot in that series. I think there's a few of them that all kind of join up in that universe. But just anything that makes you feel like warm and fuzzy inside, I just absolutely love.
So you've only really gotten into fanfics, like our flag fanfics, in the last like 6 months or a few months, basically because of this podcast.
Yeah, basically, because it is. Thank you so much. Yeah, it's brought me so much joy. Like literally, that's why I started reading them, because I was listening to them, like you guys recommend them, and I was like, oh, I'd like to read that. So then I read it, and then you did the one, the mini podficky ones, and I listened to that, and I was like, oh my god, that's a thing. People read them out and I can listen to them while I'm doing artwork. This is nuts. So then I went and found those, and I basically listened to all of Loopy Dangerfrog's, what is it, City Never Sleeps series. Unbelievable, like with all the music spliced in. I was like, how on earth have they done that? It's just listen to that like 3 or 4 times.
So was the first podfic you listened to Loopy Dangerfrog's on our pod?
Yeah, it was.
It was the thoroughly improper
cuddling of Edward Teach.
Yeah,
which was great. I loved it. And then I went
very E-rated.
I don't mind a little bit of smut. I mean, I haven't read any yet, because I'm terrible at just laughing and I'm not very good at being serious. But it's going to happen, isn't it? But I don't mind it, as long like I like the kind of storiness of things, and then if it leads to a bit of smut, that's a bonus, isn't it? But I adored the first one of hers I listened to that wasn't on your podcast was You're a Wonder, Stede Bonnet.
Ooh, I'm gonna take that down.
Oh, it's so good. Which is by Jfc Anna, and I listened to the podfic by Loopy Dangerfrog. But it's Ed and Stede, and they're both college age in, I think it must be America, and they're going to college, and they have to work together to do this group project thing, and they sort of don't like each other to start with, and then they do like each other, and then there's this amazing chapter where they go on a date and they go to a museum and then they go to a bookshop, and I just listened to that chapter over and over again. It's just so nice. Loved that one. Yeah, and that one does get a bit, well, it gets very E-rated, but having a nice time.
We
love it.
And that we have all genre of fan fiction represented here on the podcast, so you can find a little bit of everything. I'm so glad that inspired this new creative outlet for you. That just warms my heart. Makes me feel like, yes, we are doing good in the world out here.
You are 100%. I really love doing it, because in my creative day job, doing illustration and things, I love doing that, obviously, but I'm always doing it with the motive of, can I sell this, blah blah blah, which is fine. It's nice when people want to buy your stuff, but it's really nice to just do things for yourself, and just it's really relaxing to draw characters who are already established, and just because you kind of know what they're like, but you can make them sort of do your own thing. And this is like the stuff I do for fun. I love it. So thank you.
So as an illustrator, you that's a day job for you that you get money for. How did you get into that, for other people who are listening who want to get into illustration as a work thing?
Well, I've always done it. Basically, since I was 4, I decided I was not going to be a frog. I was going to be an illustrator, because at one point I was very sure I was going to be a frog. So I just have always done it. Like even when I was younger at school, I was always making little comics, little zines, and I was selling them at school and that kind of thing. And then I went to art school and I did fine art, which was all right. It's fine. You don't need to go to college. Just make art. And then I just put myself online and got with a little agency website thing, and people contact me for commissions. I've done quite a few books and things, and but I mostly sell now through my Instagram and through Etsy, which have been really good the last year, actually. And I do markets to promote my stuff. So it's just kind of about getting yourself out there. It's like what we were talking about like earlier with the podficking and like it's not cringe, it's sparkle.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's just not being shy to put your things out there, because I think when you put artwork out there, it's like it's part of your soul is what it takes to make it, and you're showing people that, and it's a bit scary and things, but there's a lot of people out there that will like it whatever you do. Like, it doesn't matter if you get likes or not, as long as you're making things that you like.
Yeah.
And yeah.
What are your goals with podficking, with the fandom, with fan fiction, with all of this? Are you like, do you have like, I want to do 100 podfics? Where are you thinking, where are you going with it?
Well, I'm currently riding the wave of hyperfixation at the moment. So this is the thing. I'm obsessed with it. This is what we're doing. It's the only thing I can think about. Driving all my friends nuts, but they're very supportive. So yeah, I don't know. I just I have like a list of them on my bookmarks that I want to read. And yeah, when I see one and I think, oh, that's for my voice, I could read that. Then yeah, I don't really have any goals. It's kind of to just enjoy it, do more funny voices. And it's really nice talking to the authors as well, because they say such lovely things. Because I used to hate my voice. I used to think it was stupid and annoying.
Actually, your voice is great. Yeah, I love it. I could listen to it all the time. So keep on doing that.
Well, I've got 17 podfics for you. But yeah, no, now I really like my voice since I started doing this. So it's just to do more, make people happy, smile. It's nice. Yeah, out and within the fandom, my current goal is so we have the London Comic-Con MCN in October. If anyone's going to that, send me a message. Let's meet up. My current goal is to cut the arm off my leather jacket and make Blackbeard cosplay.
Very cool. Do you know if anyone from the cast is going to be at that Comic-Con?
I don't think this one. Yeah, I think there has been previous ones. I think there was quite a lot of them at one point. But just going to go anyway and have fun because I love it. Awesome. Comic-Con's a good place. I think it's a good place to go if you're worried about being cringe, because everyone is the same level of cringe as you. And then you realize that it's normal.
But speaking of goals, at the beginning of the year, my goal was to do 25 episodes of this podcast. And guess what? You are episode 25.
Oh, yeah.
And I was really worried that I was going to get burnt out. Like, I'm like, okay, I'm not going to do 50 because that's, I'll probably get burned out by then. So a good goal is 25. And I'm like, I've done 25 and I'm eager to do 25 more.
Smashed it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So good. That's amazing. Well done.
Yeah.
I love it.
But it's nice because there's like a full circle thing, because I inspired you to start your thing, and then you represent like my goal of doing 25 episodes. You are on the 25th episode. It just, see how it full circle.
I love that.
How that thing happened.
Love stuff like that. It's just keeping the fandom going, isn't it? Because it's still so active, which is amazing.
I mean, something I'm thinking about is like, I want to keep this going for 10 years. Oh
my God, do it.
And then like, I mean, this sounds like an insane person talking, but like 10 years from now, being able to look back on like 500 episodes and also being like, see, 10 years on, the fandom is still here. The fandom is stronger than ever. And that's
never left.
Season 3.
Yes, we want it.
In 2034, if America hasn't been nuclear bombed.
Yeah. Well, I think we should all my sister's got the right idea. She's got a boat. Let's all get boats. That's the plan. Pirating, but, like polite menaces only.
Yeah, just like polite, like animal rescue pirating. Like,
yeah. Kind of like Sea Shepherd, but a bit less rammy.
Yeah, we'll just like get all the homeless animals. We'll put them on our boats. We'll like
I love it.
Catch fish for the cats. And
yeah, it's perfect. Magical.
So we got to wrap things up. Where can people find you? What are you working on? Well, we know what you're working on, but where can people find you?
Well, I am actually. There is one very cool one I'm working on, which I'm going to record in a minute. Yeah. Which I decided it's going to be a great idea to method act it. It's called "Don't Panic" by Kalan's Phantom, and it is a modern AU. And it is Stede goes out on a pride night and gets absolutely wasted, and bumps into Ed in a bar, who's a lovely barman who makes sure he's all right. And yeah, so I'm going to drink some rum and do Steve's voice drunk. So let's see how that goes. Always drink responsibly. Yeah,
that's hilarious. It reminds me, I went to this Q&A with Mariska Hargitay, and she gave us like this 10-minute like little demonstration on how to act drunk. It was the funniest thing. I don't think I retained anything because I was laughing so hard, but she was like standing up and she was like leaning forward slightly, and she's like, you have to like try really hard to show that you're not drunk by enunciating. And
exactly, I am not drunk at all. What was your name? Ed? That's a beautiful name. Kind of like that.
Yeah, it's about trying really hard to hide the fact that you're drunk by being very clear. Yeah.
Yes. I love it. Amazing.
Awesome. I will put links in the show notes to everything that you have.
Oh, yes. Yeah. Oh, you can find me on SoundCloud at Baby Kraken, I think. Instagram is Baby Kraken podfics, and Twitter is Baby Kraken pod. Yay, come and say hi. Send me fics, especially if it's Prince Ricky or Calico Jack.
Yay! Thank you so much. It was so fun.
That's all right. Goodbye, friends.